You know? No, I don't do no psychedelics. They say coffee has psychoactive properties. I had a cup of coffee. For some people, that all these drugs, really, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, they interact with your dopamine receptors. And for some of us, we have larger ventricles in our brain that produces more dopamine than other people. So I believe I'm one of those people. And it doesn't take much, and you'll start to go into an altered state because you have such large dopamine ventricles. So just working out or eating is a lot more pleasurable for somebody with larger dopamine receptors than for a normal person. You see what I mean? I could probably eat a small amount of food and feel, everybody, like you go to, I don't know, for me, like Wendy's, and you eat like a really greasy double, triple cheeseburger, and all of a sudden you just feel like, oh, you just want to sit there. You don't want to move off the couch. You know what I mean? And that's because it activated your pleasure centers and you release dopamine. So for me, I don't really need to eat a lot, just salt, and all of a sudden I feel like that. But for some people, they have smaller ventricles and they've got to eat a lot before they get that feeling. But for me, like I can work out and I feel like I get a dopamine. You know what I mean? That being said, like a lot of people don't realize, like coffee, is, like I said earlier, a psychoactive. You Google it, and I'm telling you, it's there. But for most people, they don't have. But that coffee can trigger for you to have a psychoactive experience. But for others, it's been years, but at one point I would wake up and take green tea pills and go work out. And, I don't, a lot of people, probably don't have the same experiences. But if you've ever done cocaine, which I haven't done since I was, in my 20s or young, but everybody knows that, like, you see a crackhead and they're over there freaking out. And you're like, he's acting like he's on some acid or something, but really he's on rocks, right? And if you do enough, and that's just speed, right? And caffeine is just speed, but it releases dopamine. And if you do enough of that, especially if you hadn't had sleep in a while, that's really just delirium. But if you do enough of it, you'll start to have a psychoactive experience. So it just depends. I could never do. I think I did salvia. Y'all remember that was. I used to always want to try something like that until I tried salvia, and then I realized, like, I don't ever want to play with this stuff ever again. Like salvia, it used to be you could get it at all the smoke shops, And I did salvia one time, and for like, what does it last? Like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. But for that amount of time, you start to, like, you fall back into a black hole, and people's experiences are different. It was all these like little people that, like, they felt like bugs. They're real small, but they got all over me, and they were all talking to me, and they would make out what any of them were saying. But I felt like, am I going to be stuck here forever? And then I popped back out of it, and I was like, got to pause for a minute, guys.